right, y'all. We are here at Better Marriage Daily. I'm Sean.
And I'm V.
And we are here to help show you tips that may help you to get a better marriage daily. Loving each other in spite of each other. Come on. What it do?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, baby. So, again, you know, I'm putting V on the spot by not letting her know what we're talking about. I know, right? I'm picking mic up a little bit just so that you ain't got to leave. There you go. Yeah, relax. It's gonna be a good one. Look, it's gonna be a good one.
I'm relaxed.
Okay, so here it is. The topic is in thickness and in health.
Okay. Ooh, this is good.
Took you fast.
This is gonna be a good one.
Took you fast. Huh?
Yeah, he did take me fast.
See, that's another thing. When you stay married for a while, you take up each other's habits and colloquialisms. That was there. Oh, you took me fast. It took me fast. I laughed like that the first time she said that to me. Took me fast. I said, okay, took me fast. All right. So yeah, in thickness and in health. And I thought about, making a joke and being like, but I ain't gonna make a joke. So, we just gonna.
You could.
I could in thickness. No, but in thickness and in health. It's a play on in sickness and in health. Like Mike Tyson would say, in thickness and in health.
Yeah.
Of course, if Tyson is watching this, and hey, man, they didn't mean nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, in thickness and in health, we say in sickness and in health, but do we really mean that?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Do we really mean that? As I was in the middle, what you about to say?
I think so. Until we want to believe,
right?
We want to believe it, but until things start to happen.
Told y'all we were gonna do this thing for real. You see her reaction, huh? She loved my dirty draws, but maybe not. And we're joking, of course. But that was a real moment. I definitely meant in thickness though, because people get married and some people actually go in the opposite direction. Some people go from being, the really heavy set people. They get together and figure out that life is worth living, and then they go and they get on a journey together and they lose weight. But most people start off as these very fine individuals and then morph into something that neither one of them recognized if they were to see themselves 5 years before that or 10 years before that. Mm-hmm. And the reason that came to me because I did some spring cleaning. And on day 3, we got back from the trip, and I was like, man, I gotta clean up some stuff because of course she's been saying, hey, when you gonna clean up that stuff? We've been in this house. We had the house. The hurricane
has its own place.
Yeah, Miss Everything has its own place. So 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, 2023. We about to go to 24. Hurricane Laura and Delta was 4 years ago. Was 3 years ago and some change. Wow. Okay. So, but it took us a year to get out. So only a year and some change that our little storage area has been kind of tousled. We established that I'm tousled sometimes. And so we came back from trip, and I just had a big burst of energy because my dad passed recently, and we're in Louisiana, and a thing of value when a person passes is black pots. And so I need to make room for this big old black pot. And when I got back home, I was like, it's time to do it now. So I was going through that. And as I was going through that, I found some other stuff, and I found some DVDs, right? I found some music, and I found some DVDs from 2005. So the backstory is, while you see me here with my little ponce, in Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, when you say ponce, that's a stomach. And see ponce, and gross ponce, little ponce, big ponce, little stomach, big stomach. I'm at T-ponce, but I shouldn't have no ponce because I started losing weight, and Thanksgiving really did a number on me. And so I'm sitting here looking, going,
not only you.
In thickness and in health, and in health with an F. So I found this video, and I'm going to put a clip of it, and I'm going to let y'all see it for a second.
You heard it? I heard it.
Wow. She hasn't seen it. See, she's gonna see it after we put all the stuff together, but she remembers. But I looked at myself, and that accordion was so small. It was so small on me, man. It was ridiculous. Man. So anyway, so the story behind that is we got married. We were both very good looking individuals. I was still a little bit heavy though. I was actually around the weight that I am now. Yeah. I was actually around the weight that I am now, but because of the way I was eating, I was swollen. You know what I mean? And so it's really weird. That's another thing that's weird. You could be the same weight and look totally different.
Distributed differently. I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about me.
You can say it easily because you were really small when you got married. Stop it. So anyway, no, it was I was just swollen. We the same way. My face was swollen. Everything was just swollen. It was wild. It's wild to look at our marriage pictures first of all and see that. But then, so 2005, I got a revelation that I need to stop playing music. Most of y'all, if you know or not, I am a Creole rock and soul artist. So I play music for a living, and I do everything in the entertainment industry, from hosting TV shows to motivational speaking to performing, singing, doing all the stuff like that, right? And so I was doing what I thought and what I knew in my heart was what I was supposed to be doing, for the world and in my time here on earth. And I had an overarching feeling that God said, stop. And so I stopped. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother episode right there. So anyway, so God said, stop. So when he said stop, and I listened, I was, I'm sure I had ballooned to over 400 pounds. But the last time I got on the scale before January 1, 2006, the last time I got on the scale, I was like 385, right? And so this video is somewhere between 385 and 400 that I'm looking at, right? And if you want to know right now, I'm 275. I should be way down lower, but Thanksgiving, and I went on a little trip, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking at this. So then I get into 2006, and I shut everything down, get rid of all my contracted gigs and all this. I just kept kept everything except my contracted gigs, and I kept everything that was contracted. And I let the other stuff that was just, non-contracted, I let that go. And then January 1 for 10 years solid, I was not a full-time musician. And I hit a little state of depression, and I didn't even really know it was depression. I was just in it, because when I'm not doing music and I'm not in front of crowds and performing, and doing stuff like that on a big level, I'm low-key, low-key depressed. I'm not in my zone. And that, of course that may change as we go, but that's where it was. So I look at this picture and I'm in this video and I'm looking and I'm like, wow. Every time I see this picture, I just go, wow. Right? Because seemingly it happens overnight.
Seemingly.
It's like you wake up one day and you're like, hey man, when did I get in the size 50?
And why didn't anyone tell me?
And how come nobody told me? Well, because of course your parents are always driving you. Get a little bit of weight up, but they're always telling you from a standpoint of, well, nah, you gained weight too, fool. What you talking about me? and we get to project whenever they say that, because what they're saying can't actually be that true, because look at them, right?
Right.
Well, the mirror is always the best friend you always wish you never had, because it'll tell you if you listen. So I looked at that and I thought about that last night, because I knew we were going to do this today. And I was like, in thickness and in health. Wow. So let's talk about that. And that's why I didn't want you to think about it. Because remember we talked about how she need a lot of time to think about it? When she got a lot of time to think about it, and she comes with these very meticulous answers, what you want from her is off the dome.
Do they really?
They want it off the dome.
Do they really?
They want it off the dome. So when we were together, and you had gained weight as well, right? But you're a much smaller person than I am. So your weight gain, to me, it was like, hey, girl, hey, what's that? You know what I'm saying? I ain't mind none of that. You're chunky, but hey, you're mine. Chunky monkey. Come on, Monchichi. Come on, Monchichi. Let's go. And but I had gained a lot of weight, and to the point to where it was affecting our love of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it was affecting our love. Not the. Come on.
Maybe mess my glasses.
It's the for me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in flagrante, delecto, whatever, and she was like, yo. I was like, what? No. No Yui on top of you. Can't breathe.
Okay. Yeah, come on.
Go on, wife. No, to give her credit, in that instance, she was very gentle. She didn't come off crazy like she usually does. Because if when you love somebody, you gotta handle them with kid gloves, especially in sensitive situations.
Exactly.
So, what was going through your mind in those days?
Well, I couldn't really. At first, I didn't know how to broach the subject, and I thought about myself because I gained, on a 5'3" frame, I gained like 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot for me.
Yeah.
And so, and then I went through, you've gained weight, so I wonder, you need to think about how he feels about the fact that you've gained weight. You didn't know how much I gained, but it was like 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Was it just 20?
Yeah. It was at least, at least 20, which is a lot for me. So I knew that I had to be, gentle and find a way to say it. And since you have a sense of humor, I had to find a way to say that because I knew that you knew. I didn't need to really remind you. Mm-hmm. But when I said what I said, it was to let you know that, okay, this is affecting us,
mm-hmm.
And so it was time.
Go on. The other chick.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah, and so she, she very, very delicately, broke that news, and of course, as guys, we're like, all right, it don't matter how, just as long as we do,
Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking, in your mind, you're like, man, this boy's big, and it affected your want to as well, right?
Yes. To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, it did. But it wasn't to the point to where I was like, No, bro.
Well, that part.
You know.
Well, that part.
But you
Right.
know, it wasn't affecting it, and I had to try to find ways. At first, I just ignored it, because of the weight that I gained. But it just became a little much.
Right.
Okay. So you had to be sensitive.
Yes.
And it was messing with you and whatnot. So but yeah, and the same with me. I mean, I had noticed and it was wild, but you don't want to admit it. And so the reason I said, in thickness and in health, what happens when your spouse gets to a point to where they've gained so much weight that you may not be as attracted to them as you were. And that's why I asked you that, because I'm like, what this people are going to need, some guidance on mindsets and ways to think about it. Now, I have a way, and I'll tell that, but since we started on you and how you felt about it, think back.
Well, I figured what I could do is work on me.
Yeah.
Once I let how I felt, then I could work on me. And so, saying anything more would not be helpful. So it wouldn't be helpful. I mean, you can't help anybody if you're nagging
For sure.
them about things.
For sure.
So it was to work on me. And then, slowly I started to work on me, work out, not consuming as many sugar products, and
Right,
things like that.
but didn't it start with me though? After you told me that, because
it
I you always wait. I was like, hey babe, let's do this. You were like, Remember I told
ready.
y'all,
Yeah.
her first thing was always no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was starting different things, and I would lose weight, and once so that's why the story was relevant, because once 2006 came in, so now I'm sitting here looking at 385, almost 400 pounds, and somewhere around that time, either like 5 or 6 months before that, you had let me know, and so our bedroom life had turned into that, restrictive.
Yes.
We'll just say restrictive. And we will get into more detail later on, but this is just a light one to go into it to help y'all with this part. And so then 2006, January 1, I don't have a job, I don't have a career, I got to figure this thing out. So I go to the doctor, and I realize, well, we've always known, because I would wake up the whole neighborhood when I slept, because I snored, so I had sleep apnea. And I had sleep apnea, and the doctors set me up. And then whenever I got on that, I started to lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did.
Pretty amazing. So all the trying that I was doing wasn't working.
Nope.
But whenever I got sleep, ta-da, it worked. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So once I got to sleep, it worked, and so then I started losing weight, and then you started losing weight, and then I kept losing weight, and then you were looking at me like, you lost all that weight, I'm not losing. I'm like, hey, just take your time, it's all good, right? And so then I've lost all the weight, and now she's still heavier than she wants to be.
Yes.
Still heavier than she wants to be. So, how the roles have changed. And so now, which for me, like I told y'all before, whenever I decided long time ago that whenever I got married, I was married for life, and that person would be my source. Mm-hmm. And I would do, whatever I needed to do to make sure that, I kept that part of the relationship sacred, right?
Right.
Well, the whole thing, but especially that part. Mm-hmm. And so for me, what I learned a long time ago was that relationships are going to change, bodies are going to change. you need to find something on your spouse that will never change, or something about your spouse that should never change, right? So with you, it started with your eyes and your lips, right? Your eyes and your lips. I was like, they ain't never gonna change. I'm just gonna chew on them to nice soft supple lips, nibble on them, and look into them pretty light brown eyes till I can't see no more, till I'm gone.
Okay.
Right? And I say, eyes don't get fat, eyes don't get broken. If one of your eyes happen to go, you still got a nud.
Yep.
I mean, and for the most part, those are two things that probably wouldn't change. And that was before. Let me go on record. That was before I was saved and living for God and understood that there are more than the eros ways of loving. That eros, that erotic way of loving. The physical part. Because once you get married, the physical part is still there. But I know a lot of guys will tell you. I don't know about women. Because I still think there's some women, even the women I'm sitting here maybe doing a lot of stuff out of obligation. Even the woman I'm sitting here with maybe doing it sometimes out of obligation. But I will tell you now that for guys, once we love you, we love you.
Yeah.
And once we love you, whatever you got, we want it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so after we got married and after we became the couple that we are, that we've become, it wasn't so much about whether you were tiny or not. Mm-hmm. My biggest thing is, are you healthy?
Right.
Because if you're healthy, we can get smaller. Mm-hmm. We can get toner. Mm-hmm. But if you're not healthy, then that's a whole nother subject. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, okay, so she's healthy, and again, let me go on record. I never had to have these conversations with myself. Because you walking across, I'm constantly smacking, I'm constantly pinching, I'm constantly groping.
Yeah.
And she's constantly being a ninja. We'll go into that later as well. We just got so much to talk about. But yeah, so I loved her and desired her in all of her forms, and I never had an issue with that ever. Mm-hmm. Now granted today, it's just a lot different today.
Right.
Let me tell you something.
I've been working.
Oh, you've been working.
I've been working.
And it's been working. Look at here.
Okay.
Look at here. I'm telling you.
Come on.
Hey, I dream about you.
All right.
I can dream about you. Hey, if I can hold you tonight.
Yeah.
Whoa. Girl, look at here. Mm-hmm. I'm on the road. I'm driving home. Be like, Hey, baby, what you doing? I'll be back in about 45 minutes. You sleeping? Yeah. I'm going to be back in about 45 minutes. But that's a whole nother conversation too. 9 o'clock. Soon come 9 o'clock. 8:30 when she was working. Soon come 9 o'clock. But anyway, so I never had those kinds of hang-ups or issues or whatever with you, but I was conscious of the fact that you gained weight. Mm-hmm. And so my response in it was that I just loved on you harder.
You did.
Which I think pissed you off.
At times, because I didn't feel good about myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel good in my own skin. Mm-hmm. Which really didn't have anything to do with you. It was about me.
Right.
So it didn't matter how much you would compliment me. It didn't matter, how much you were wanting to be close to me. In my mind, I was like, girl, you have let yourself go. And, I looked bad. I didn't like the way I looked at my clothes. Definitely not out of my clothes. So, I started to work. Yeah. Slowly.
Yeah, but yeah, that I think the part, I think we need to marinate. You can put your glass back on. You look, so you can see me.
Oh, I can see you.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, I can see you.
Side note, she talking about she can see me. We got together and I told Vanessa she needed glasses because she always had headaches. And in a marriage, headaches is not something that you want as a man because they can use those headaches as excuses for getting out of duties, for getting for getting out of honeydews. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, girl, you need to go check your eyes. Oh, I can see. I said, okay, what's that? A stop sign. I said, yeah, it's red. Okay, what that sign say? I mean, that's far. I'm like, it's really big letters. It's really big letters. And then, she's stalling because as we getting closer, oh, that says Ryan Street. Right? She been a hustler. She been a hustler for a long time, acting like I'm the one that's she been a hustler for a long time. So then we go to get our eyes checked, right? Never forget it. She talking all that smack. Ain't nothing wrong with my eyes. Ain't no glass. Ain't nothing wrong with my eyes. Tell them what the doctor said, baby.
The doctor said I had double astigmatism in both eyes. And he literally fell on the floor.
I literally laughed so hard because we had been years, y'all. Years.
Oh, my goodness.
My life was hell for years because she was constantly getting headaches because she's doing this all the time.
Well, there was two reasons.
You doing this all the time?
I needed glasses and I had allergy and sinus problems.
Yeah,
so I think the sinus problems.
That's an excuse.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because
though, I had the headaches didn't stop.
Okay.
The headaches did not stop.
Okay.
But I could see and everything was vivid and the colors were beautiful.
When she first put them on, I laughed again, but we was already sitting down, so I never
Green
fall.
was like real green and just vibrant.
Yep. She's like, red. She's like, oh my God.
Oh my God, these colors are just beautiful.
And the lines are sharp.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the lines are sharp.
Yeah.
I say, whoa.
Yeah.
So I would pour into her, and she was like, she would, and it's another thing, y'all. Whichever one is the party that's kind of jumped off the farm for a while. Whenever your partner is trying to uplift you and sow into you, I understand that you have to have a self-image, and it's all about what you think about you. But like I used to tell her all the time, I need you to see yourself through my eyes. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, baby, see yourself through my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't do it.
She'd be like, I can't.
I
say,
could
try.
not do it.
I said, try real hard.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it.
I could not do it.
I was constantly telling her.
And I don't know if I think that females struggle with that so much more than men, so no matter what you said, you tried, and I thank God for that. You didn't make me feel horrible, but I was already feeling horrible, about what I allowed to happen, because I got comfortable, because I was happy, hey, because I was happy. And it's not unusual, but I allowed it, and I didn't feel good at all. Yeah. Physically, emotionally, mentally. I just didn't feel well. I didn't. Yeah.
And so, I vowed to just keep on loving her, and kissing the dimply spots.
Yeah.
And caressing and tapping the dimply spots,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did and like so, and as we go, I said, "Oh, look, baby, I can run my hand down your back, no bumps."
I was like, "Okay, I've been working on that."
I was like, "No bump, look, baby, no bumps."
Yes.
And so, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we back in the same position we was in 05. At the end of 05, I'm still way bigger.
But that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
But you're not that.
No,
anymore.
I'm not. I'm 100 pounds less than that.
Yes.
And I kept that weight off the whole time, too.
He did.
But it's time to take it to a whole nother level. So y'all are going to actually get to see the transformation because, I'm taking my health way more seriously because we're getting more, my career is getting more and more busy. And then we started this podcast. And so we have to be able to serve you, and we have to be able to serve you correctly. Mm-hmm. And as long as we need to, and as much as we're going to need to in the future. So I had to get healthy, and so that's what we're working on right now. I know if you follow me, you see all that good food I eat, but I mean that's like if I eat that's once a day.
Yes.
That's not twice a day, 10 times a day, and it's not every day of the week either.
No.
And I save some posts, so y'all just know that. Mm-hmm. I save posts so I can post them later. Doing the tricks of the trade. So in thickness and in health. In thickness and in health. Now the healthy times. So let's talk about that. I would always go, hey baby, I see I'm gonna try this. You wanna try this? And her answer was always
No.
I'm like, but you've been talking about doing the stuff, and she'd be like, just like that. No,
Not interested.
not interested. What she was really saying was, let me see you do it first.
Yeah. Every time.
Let me see you do it first.
Let me see you walk it out first. And
Yeah.
then I'll just jump on the bandwagon when I see that.
Right. And so, so I started, right? I start killing it, and then she jumps in and
I was
wants
like, oh, there's something to
and
this.
wants to go get it, and then to be like, well, I'm not losing like you, and that, well, you just started. I've been doing this for a second.
Yeah, which that is a whole nother conversation as
Go.
well. That was frustrating to me that I wasn't losing at the same rate. But then I started to do research and find out that there were reasons why. Number one, I'm a woman and we don't burn calories, we don't burn calories like, men do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through menopause as well.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother episode. And so I had to figure it out. Things that worked for me before, they were no longer working. So I had to figure things out. I knew that I needed to start working out and everything again, but that had to be different. So I figured it out, and you told me about the weight training, and I didn't want to hear that. I just wanted to do cardio because that's what I like.
Let me tell me, your fat ass trying to tell somebody how to do something. Why don't you go over there and get there and do it?
I never said that.
Your mind and your mouth and your eyes said it.
Never said that.
Your eyes and your eyes said it. Your mouth didn't, but your eyes said it, and you were saying it in your mind. I knew you was because you quick
and
with
I
it.
knew, and I knew you were right. I just wasn't. I didn't want to because I never liked it, and it worked. Cardio worked for me before. Little weights, cardio worked for me before. So I figured it out.
Well, and we have good conversations because
Yeah.
I find out ways to say whenever I say, hey baby, you should try. I was looking at the thing and say you should try that. I ain't doing that. So then I wait a little while, and then I come back and I revisit, and I said, hey, the reason a couple of weeks ago that I said that was because I see you working really, really hard. I just think that you're putting the effort into the wrong things. And if you tried this other thing, you get a lot more results in a lot less time.
Right.
Because you'd be doing stuff that's really going to help you. But I mean, but keep on doing what you like to do.
And then
I ain't mad about that. And then she said,
I
I'm going to do what I want to do.
research.
And then
I started researching.
She started researching.
All I needed was a seed,
And
all I needed was
hubby
a
was
seed.
right.
And hubby was right. Because when I started the weight training, things started to, I started to drop weight, tone, reshape and all that. So
tell them about the research. What did the research tell you about women over 50?
That we needed to lift weights. We needed weight training than resistance training, weight training, more than we do cardio. So I changed that. The main thing when I work out, it's resistance and weight training. And then I do cardio, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and that's it. Some days less than that, 10. So it started to work for me. And I read a whole lot of, articles and things like that. And it worked. And then I started following other trainers like on Instagram. Started following them, and all of them said the same thing about weight training. So that was the key. And then people started to see. I started to see it in my clothes. I've never been one to like step on a scale every day. So my clothes is how I gauge whether I've lost weight or gained weight.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, and you people, you see it, but you didn't see it as much. And I kept, and here I am again, your biggest cheerleader.
Always.
Oh, baby, you fine. Ooh.
Always my biggest
You fine, baby. Cool. Lord, come on over here, girl. Stop it, boy. Girl, come on over here. Come here. Come here, girl. Bring that to me. Yeah. So anyway, so you know, she did the research, and we'll post a picture right here. Mm-hmm. Yep. There you go. That look at there. Yeah. Look at there. You were very what's the word I'm looking for? You were supple and cushy.
I wasn't squishy.
No, you wasn't squishy. Squishy that ass. You wasn't squishy. You were cushy.
Cushy. Okay.
Yeah. You were cushy. You were fine.
It's
you know,
a different
fine.
term.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never had a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
I know you did.
But you know,
and
so
I love you for that.
Yeah. So
but I had to do something about myself.
That may look. Ooh. Let's say that. That's a point. You know, bing. Well, I need to get my little thing. Go bing. Mm-hmm. The little sound effects. Mm-hmm. That you gotta love yourself first.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to love yourself first. So but for me and maybe for a lot of men, they'll feel the same way. I lost weight more so for her than myself. Yes, I wanted to lose weight, but while I was gaining that weight and I was able to do everything I wanted to do, like I didn't get out of breath and nothing like that. You know, I was killing. I was doing a thing.
But and, were you younger though?
Well, I was.
I was
younger. I was younger, but I mean, the thing is, but once I lost the weight, all my joints started going. Remember that? Remember that? Take this. Joints was just hurting for no reason. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow,
because all that so bad for you.
All that dopamine just stopped being distributed to those joints, and then whenever there was no more pain and stress there, then the recovery process, the healing process had to take place. And man, my joints were just on fire. Just on fire. So anyway, so loving each other in thickness and in health. So the takeaway here's are, whenever you're in a good relationship or a bad relationship, some people take to eating for comfort, whether you're in a good relationship or a bad relationship, your weight is going to fluctuate for the most part. Most people's weights are going to fluctuate. What are you going to do? How are you going to react whenever that happens? Personally, for you and in the relationship with your partner, how are you going to react? We just showed you 4 different reactions. So when I gained the weight, I didn't realize I had weight. So that's ignoring it. Ignoring the fact that I'm constantly gaining weight and have made my way into 5X clothing.
That's unbelievable.
4X was comfortable. 4X was just, 5X was comfortable. Mm-hmm. Choo. Crazy, right? So I was ignoring it. Then you had her who had gained the weight, who was painfully aware of it, right? Painfully aware of it, but wouldn't do anything about the fact she was aware of it. And it kind of made you eat more because you were like, well, I'm already here.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yep. And so then on the other side, from the spousal reaction, so I see that she's there and I'm just loving on her just to make her comfortable with where she is and to let her know that her weight has nothing to do with how I feel. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, she's being that person that she is and saying, hey, bruh. Say, bruh. Nah, cuz. It ain't going down like that. Flip that thing over. So, and then as we lose the weight, then we both are kind of on the same page, encouraging, and both self-aware of where we are, and constantly on the grind to be healthy. Because now, at 58 and 54, about to be 59 and 55, where we are now is we want to be there for each other and be able to enjoy the rest of our life and make that the best of our life.
Absolutely.
And what I experienced 15 years ago, I went to the hospital with my dad and he brought a pill bag, a Ziploc bag full of pills. And that was the day that I was like, that was the day that I was like, ooh, ooh. Because I had lost weight at that point.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh. I've been declaring since college that I would not have sugar diabetes, I would not have high blood pressure, I would not have cholesterol, and I would not have any kind of ailments that I don't get sick. That that whenever That's been my declaration. And as a consequence, I don't get sick. I don't. I say I live in the world, so I understand that the world is here. So I understand that things may get on me, but they won't get in me. And if they get on me, they've got 2 days, max 3. And I will not be debilitated.
That's right.
And that's been the way I've lived my life. But I do understand that you are planting seed the whole time that you're doing these things. So I got a hold of myself. I woke up. I came to myself. And so I got to do my work so that I don't have to reap that harvest later on.
That's right.
So we've been working really hard so that we can enjoy the rest of our lives. And so now we're doing it for us and for our children and for our grandchildren. And we want to see our grandkids' kids.
Exactly.
We want to see them and we want them to know us. So, that's what you do. So in thickness and in health.
Yes.
That was our quick little journey. And we thank y'all for listening in. Better Marriage Daily, the podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm V.
And we have been here trying to show you how to have a better marriage daily through loving each other in spite of each other. So until next time, we'll holler.
Baby, I'm gonna take my time.